Welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I'm Ronique, and thank you for joining me here on my YouTube channel. We are continuing our beginning tarot reading series. If you haven't noticed it already, please look in the playlist on the channel. You will see the meanings to the major arcana cards, as well as all four suits of the minor arcana, as well as a few spreads that I've started to do. I did the Libra spread, or the Justice card spread back in Libra season, and it is now Scorpio season, so I'm going to do the Death card spread. But this card spread can be used at any time of the year, and it is all about the symbology of the Death card. And the Death card represents death, but also not necessarily death in the physical form, like someone passing away, but more of what things in your life have already outlived their life cycle. So right here, we are basically going to go through each of the different symbologies of the Death card, and they will represent one of these 8 placements. So we'll start here with placement 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so let's go through the cards so that you're able to do this either for yourself if you were going to do a spread, or if you were going to do a reading for someone else. You would first read through all of the different placements, and you would pose your question, then you would place the cards. Okay, so for position 1, which is the skeleton, that is representative is what is temporary. In position 2, it is the armor on the skeleton, and the armor represents what protects me. In position 3, we have the horse, and the horse represents what moves me. In position 4, you have the dead king down here, and the dead king represents what is overthrown. In position 5, which is down here, we have the praying child, which you can see right here in the bottom of the card. And the praying child represents who is listening. Then in position 6, which is over here, we have the praying bishop, which is right here. And the praying bishop stands for what role does religion and dogma play in my life? In position 7, which is up here, you have the twin towers that are in the background. Those twin towers stand for what has been built. And then the last position is position 8, which is right here. And that is the sunrise, which you can see peeking out over here. And the sunrise symbolizes what new beginning awaits. So let's do a sample question. So let's say we wanted to find out, is it time for me to move? Okay, that would be our question that we would pose to ourselves before pulling the cards. So in position 1, which we know stands for the skeleton, we have this Queen of Swords. Position 1 was what is temporary. So is there a portion of my life ruled maybe by someone who is a female figure that has a direct significator or significant in my life around where I live? Could it be a mother figure? Do you have a landlord that is very strict, that you're trying to get out of an apartment and move into a home? Is there someone that dictates what your position is, if you will, but is that a temporary thing? So that would be what the Queen of Swords position 1 would represent. In position 2, that stood for the armor of the skeleton. Remember, that was what protects me. So you have this 10 of Wands in reverse. 10 of Wands in the upright position usually means something is coming to an end, a burden that you have been carrying on your shoulders, but with it in reverse, maybe the burden isn't over. So maybe your apartment rent is too high. Maybe your mortgage is too high. Maybe you've been carrying this huge load on your shoulders and you're just like trying to figure out when it's going to end. And so that could be, but with that, what protects me, like, is it possible that the armor that you've been wearing from that death card, is it protecting you? Like, that's that's the question you need to ask yourself. Has, the burden of that 10 of Wands been protecting you or hurting you? Okay. Then in position 3, where you have the horse represents what moves me. And then you have the Hierophant in position 3. The Hierophant usually represents any type of governing figure. So is there a bank? Is there a mortgage company? Is there, are you trying to get a loan for a house and it just hasn't been panning through? With it in the upright position, what moves me, maybe it's whether you get approved for a loan or not to be able to get a house, to be able to move. Maybe that's what you're waiting for in that position 3 of the horse. In position 4 with the dead king, we have the Ace of Cups. Now the dead king represents what is overthrown. So what is no longer needed. So maybe you now are getting blessed with this overwhelming, it's almost like a hand of God coming to you from the universe, offering you emotional help. So maybe what is overthrown is that you don't have to keep worrying about where you're going to get the money. Maybe this is a blessing from the universe, that what is overthrown is you worrying about debt, or worrying about trying to get out of debt, or maybe you just worrying about if you're going to be able to move. Okay, so this would obviously be a very positive sign of whether you should move. Then position 5, which is the praying child, we get the moon card in reverse. Now remember, the moon card could be representing something that is hidden, or you don't have all the facts. This position 5 is the praying child, like who is listening. So is it possible that you've been talking this over with friends or family and you're not really sure if they've been listening, or you're not sure if you have all the facts? Maybe you've been trying to get help from, a mortgage company, but you're just not quite sure, like you haven't heard back from them, or you just don't have all the information. So that moon card in reverse could also be like, there could be still hidden information that hasn't come out yet, that possibly you're not quite sure who is listening because you just don't have all the facts with that moon. In position 6, you have the bishop, and the bishop is, what role does religion and dogma play in my life? And so with the Ace of Wands, here's another gift from the universe, but this time in reverse. Remember, we had that Ace of Cups down here in the dead king position of what is overthrown. And here in the 6th position, we have the bishop. What role does religion and dogma play in my life? So maybe in terms of you moving, do you have some kind of, does your family maybe have some religious beliefs over what it is that you're able to do or where you're able to live? Maybe you want to go live in the city and your family is concerned that, it's not going to be safe. And, they have all of these rules around, you should live out in the country with your family, and you want to, pursue a different life in the urban, city. So maybe there's this blessing from the universe that's like, your passion has always been, which is that Ace of Wands, to move into the urban life, but maybe you're kind of like torn because, like I said, your family is like that religious or dogma role of like, oh no, young people aren't supposed to live in the city or whatever. So this could definitely be with that bishop number 6 position of what role does religion and dogma play in my life. You might have to take that into account when looking at if you should move. Okay. And then in position 7, you have the twin towers. The position 7 twin towers represents what has been built. So with that Page of Cups, there's some kind of offering of blessings coming to you. I think it's very interesting that you have the Ace of Cups down here in position 4 with the dead king of what is overthrown. And again, now you have the Page of Cups, another cup suit here in the 7th position of what has been built. So possibly dealing with your house, like maybe you're actually getting like a lot of support from people around you. Maybe you've already gotten some offers on your home if you're trying to sell your home. Maybe there's already been like this cadence or reputation already built up that is giving you momentum to want to move. So this could be a positive sign in this, what has been built with the Twin Towers position. And then lastly, you have the 8. position, which is the sunrise. What new beginning awaits? You see, we get the Queen of Pentacles here. So obviously, lots of abundance, lots of nurturing abundance. So to me, it's like when you get to that last position of your spread, that's usually almost like the overwhelmingly, it's kind of like that outcome card, right? It's like symbolizing, like once you take everything into account, what is it in that last position that's kind of like the yes or no card? So if you were to have asked, should I move? Is it time for me to move? Or do I just need to stay here? This Queen of Pentacles representing the sunrise is like, you have new abundance waiting for you. You have nurturing abundance. Yeah, you might have a few hiccups along the way, but for the most part, you have a supportive people around you. You have blessings from the universe that you're not even sure what they are quite yet. They might show up along your journey, but there definitely is interesting here how you start off with a Queen of Swords and you end up with the Queen of Pentacles. So maybe in the beginning, you had people around you or a motherly figure that was kind of in your head about whether you should do this. Do you really have the finances? But by the end of your journey of looking at the entire picture, you can see that this death card spread has led you to, okay, there is somebody or someone who is going to be helping you through this journey. Maybe you're going to get a loan. Maybe you have a family member who is going to offer some help with your moving or financially help you on a loan. So this is basically like an example of how you could do a death card spread. I hope this was very helpful for you. Feel free to look down in the playlist on Scorpio Soul Time to look at any other spreads for you in your beginning tarot journey. Okay, you all. Thank you. Bye.